All right, guys. I don't know if this is actually recording live. Let me have a look. Oh, no, it is. The reason why I said that was because when I went to start the stream, it said that this won't record on StreamYard, even though I'm live on YouTube now. No one's watching, but hey ho, it is what it is. I just do this anyway, so I don't have to create a big video file when I'm uploading it. And we've got James, who says, "Hi, Peter. Good evening, James. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you've got a nice weekend coming up." I'm working tomorrow, so I think Thomas is. I think he's actually in the middle of doing a live stream now, so I'm just completely taking over. I'm not. He's got a much more bigger audience than I have, and rightly so. And I feel like when you say stuff like that, you're sort of belittling the people who watch you regularly. That's not what I mean. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who comes over and watches the videos and joins in on the live streams. So yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any other streams after this because not gonna lie, I've been up since about 2 o'clock this morning. Went to bed at about 10 last night, and then just woke up at 2 and then couldn't get back to sleep. En route from Cornwall tomorrow. It'll be bloody awful, or I can imagine. We've been having some really awful, well, when you're inside, it's not bad because I like rain. We had a thunderstorm a few days ago, but yeah, travelling in this sort of weather doesn't sound good to me. And we've got Gold Drake joining us. He says, "Evening, matey. Good evening. Hope you're doing well." Yeah, it took me aback because when I started this stream, it just said StreamYard will not be recording the video because I need to upgrade my plan. I'm not sure if that would if they've incorporated new features where you can actually save the live streams on StreamYard itself. Don't know why you'd need to do that. But yeah, I was worried that I'd just be doing a live stream and it not actually going out live because I don't think I'm anywhere near coming up to my limit on sort of plan. Everything been a bit quiet past few days, so sparked up one yesterday, was high for 10 hours or so. I'm actually quite jealous about that. It's when you get good stuff, it's good. Not that I'm an expert, it's something that I only do every now and then, just because if I'm with someone and they're there, and someone who's got weed is always generous with it. Even if you say, "Oh, I want to put some money towards it," 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to just fucking smoke it. But yeah, sounds good to me, sir. My first one in month 2, it was amazing. Oh god, I bet it was after just not doing it for a while and then just then doing it. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've touched that. Although I did find out that there are websites where you can actually buy weed edibles, and I was thinking, surely that's not legitimate. It's proper stuff. It's sort of what's it called? CBD. But no, it was genuine stuff on a UK website. And I was like, how are they getting away with this? Because it is a legitimate website. And I've always been rarely intrigued about trying edibles. What was I watching? I was watching a compilation from Joey Diaz's podcast, The Church of What's Happening, and some of the guests like Ari Shafir and Owen Benjamin, who were just completely off their fucking trolleys on edibles, and his co-host and producer Lee Syatt just in these massive giggle fits. God, that's what I miss. I love how silly I get when I do partake. But yeah, it's just the idea that you could potentially buy edibles. I mean, pricey, but you expect that. And the website I saw, you had to pay like about 60 quid before you got, like, you were eligible for just delivery. But there's something tell me that I need to go halves with that on someone. With someone, I should say. Go halves on someone sounds like you're trying to get into group sex, but hey ho, it is what it is. God, we're already off the rails and we've not even mentioned beer. Let's see. So, just catch up on the comments. Let's see how I got that one. Put a bit of JPS player back in it too. It's great for burning. It's my go-to cigarettes, that Player's Green. Oh yeah, saw your story. Some are actually legit. My brother got half an ounce from Telegram before. Because I know you've got like people on like Instagram and Snapchat who do it. Mind how you go with edibles? Yeah, definitely. It wouldn't be something that I'd just jump straight into. My dad used to make edibles many moons ago. And James Wolfe, yeah, that's true. My mate did it before he was asleep for 2 days. Well, the fact that I've been up since 2 o'clock would be perfect now, but I don't think I'll be up for work. But yeah, I've never, even though I'm pale as you can be, I've never white-eyed before. I've never been sick off it. I don't know if you've noticed when I smoke, I can't really take back smoke a lot of the time because I grew up with really bad asthma, to the point where like I was hospitalised quite a few times. But then again, when I'm smoking weed and I like sort of like cough on it, because it like opens up your airways a little just by the action of coughing, I ingest it, and that's why. But yeah, I really want to get edibles now, but we shall move swiftly on to the matter at hand. So, as is always the case with these live streams, it would seem last minute saloon. But I've been wanting to do this for ages. I might have done a Doppelbock Face Off before, and I've probably done it with these 2 beers. I can't remember. But you'll see a lot of Doppelbock reviews on my channel. I recorded 2 fairly recently over the last few days. The Gloucestershire Popular Tour, and I also did the Weissenauer Bonner Tour. Just look at that artwork on those. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So tonight, as you've seen by the thumbnail, we've got 2 of my all-time favourite Doppelbocks. I would say that there's one here that I think is my favourite Doppelbock, but the other one is from my all-time favourite brewery. So my, at the moment, favourite Doppelbock is the Weltenberger Kloster Assambock, which has gone for a little bit of a rebrand. I'm not sure if they've changed it for the sort of like domestic market, or if they've just completely changed the artwork. But I really like that. How classy is that? It's a bit contemporary as well. Doesn't have that sort of like rustic look like those other 2 that I showed off. But yeah, this for me is probably my favourite all-time Doppelbock. 7.3% ABV. It's a Dunkler Doppelbock, so the darker side of things, which is always good. We like it dark here on the Clueless Drinker channel. And yeah, I actually had this at the Abbey itself while having some beautiful Bavarian food, and it was just beautiful settings. You've got a nice sort of like body of water. I can't remember which river it was. I think it might have been like an offshoot of the Donau, but just beautiful, beautiful setting, beautiful, beautiful beer, and beautiful food. And what more could you ask for? But I've gushed about this sort of stuff plenty of times, and people are probably sick to death of hearing about it. But yeah, absolute beauty of a beer. And then the second one, which is a close favourite, close second, I should say. Or, you know, still, whenever I see this, I've got to pick it up. And it's from my favourite brewery, the Augustiner Bräu. And this is the Augustiner Maximator, which is clocking in at 7.5. So just a 0.2% between them. And but yeah, just that artwork is just beautiful, isn't it? just the presentation of German beers is just an absolute wonder for me. Yeah, they posted the bud too. They do all sorts, crack, etc. But who touched that site? That shite, exactly. And yeah, I was high for 10 hours because every time I inhaled, I got a spot on it. I'd love to go to Germany, but won't be able to leave my house soon without having the we know what. Oh yeah, definitely. Held to ransom. But we'll try and avoid that conversation. I'm sure it'll crop up. I'm legitimately surprised that a lot of my videos where I've talked about this stuff haven't been taken down. But then again, you've got to be a noticeable channel really to be affected by stuff like that. But yeah, in fact, I'm actually rarely surprised how uncensored my channel has been. I mean, the film channel, that was just because it was gratuitous content, really. So I could kind of see that, even though I never showed anything, but that's I won't be a bitter ex-girlfriend about that, because what's done is done, and we're doing the film stuff on the channel, even though we're doing it like once a month, it would seem. So yeah, I've got 2 Doppelbocks, put them head to head. I can tell you now that even though I might pick one over the other, they're still both winners. God, making it sound like it's, you know, the Special Olympics. Everybody who takes part is a winner. I hate the fact that they teach that sort of rhetoric in schools, by the way. It's like, yeah, I get it. You want all the kids to feel like part of something involved, but you've got to teach kids about victory. And it's like, why don't we teach kids about like how to save money and how to be sensible and mature, and just teach them also life's harsh lessons. But yeah, anyway, where's this stream going? Who knows? So I don't have anything really to open the bottles with except a pair of nail clippers, because it was the closest thing to hand that I could find. So we'll see if we can open a bottle with some. So the glasses for tonight, because I don't have more than one German glass that's the same as the other. I really need to improve my German glassware game. So we're just going to use these Newtown Park and the Northern Monk one. Sort of declasses the beer, I suppose, with the fucking Seabrook logo. So I think in the Newtown Park, we're going to go for the Weltenberger on the right. And then I mean, I should be using my Augustina glass for this, but then I've got 2 different looking glasses. Not that it makes a blind bit of difference. So let's see if we can get this open with this. And hopefully we don't have a Tetley's situation. I don't think I'm going to get this open. No, it doesn't look like it. Fuck's sake. I should have been better prepared. Oh, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. What if I slightly open it? So then I've got more surface area to use. Oh, let's see if we can use the nasty part that actually clips my toenails. Should be able to. If Adam ends up watching this, he's going to cringe because he actually sent me 2 bottle openers. And I seem to have misplaced them in the shithole of a bedroom. So talk amongst yourselves. In fact, gonna turn the camera and mic off, and I'm going to get something that I can actually open a fucking bottle with. So apologies. I'll be right back. Well, that actually took me a lot less longer than I thought it would. Found one, and boo, Cloudwater, boo, boo. I still like Cloudwater. I've not had a Cloudwater beer for ages. We'll have to rectify that. I just don't like the business practices. But yeah, this was actually intended for Paul. It's in his bag of beer that I've still not been able to send to him. I think I'm at that point now where the beers have just been sat there, probably not in the best condition, and they're not gonna. Well, I might as well just buy him new beers and send them. But I'll talk to Paul about that. Although I'm sure there's some in there that he really wants to try. And they have been aged for nearly 4 years. So let's get these beers finally open. The hiss is all gone because I've got it off slightly. There's the classic sort of Bavarian bottle top. I think a few breweries use that bottle top. And by the way, if you hear a child crying, I'm not holding anyone captive. It's just my niece is staying over. And she's having a sleepover downstairs. But she's been a little bit emotional today, so it wouldn't be surprised if we have to phone her mum and dad to pick her up. Anyway. And I might get interrupted as well, so always be prepared. So there we go. So obviously both of them, the sort of Dunkel Doppelbock side of things. So let's see what we have here then. I'm going to say the Augustina has got a little bit more of a rubyish hue to it. The Weltenberger has definitely got more of an oaky, chestnutty look to it, a bit more dense looking. There's a little bit more clarity in this, but I'm guessing that's down to the fact that it's got a little bit more of that ruby hue. Although there are chestnutty sort of looks to it. I mean, there's not much to them if you like hold them here or here, but when you actually get close, and it's not going to show, is it? Head is pretty much the same, and even though they're poured with different variations of height on head, why am I adding extra words to sentences? It's like those people who for some reason add additional syllables to words. I can't for the life of me think of any examples, so that stops that sort of a piece of observational comedy. But yeah, they've pretty much rested both to about just shy of a small finger's worth of a beige looking head. From looking down, it looks like I'm looking at my own chest there. They look pretty much identical. It's just this looks a little bit darker from Weltenberg. So let's see what we get on the nose. Since we open the Maximator first, makes sense to smell it first. And both these are pretty much chilled down. Chilled down as much as soon as I came in for work, I put them both in the fridge, although the fridge is being turned up a little bit higher than it should be, which is probably going to cause like, oh, why is the fridge turned up so high? It's a fridge. It's supposed to keep food cold. So you'd think the colder a fridge, the better. But I'm sure there's legitimate reasons why it's not too good to have your fridge set up too high, because I think it affects like the freezing. Oh, that shut me up. It's nutty, it's syrupy. Then you get a little bit of a sweet rye, almost like with some form of like a spreadable conserve. Almost like yeasty, like cherry. And then you get like the fig, the prunes. A little bit of what nut is that? There's a nuttiness. And then like chestnut, that sort of thing. A little bit of a cakey sweetness coming through. They always smell good, don't they? Though they just do, don't they? So let's see what we get with the Weltenberger. I don't think there's going to be much in this, to be honest. Oh, on the nose, there's definitely Oh, this has got more of a, it's like a sweetened yeasted dough sort of aroma. But again, you're getting those dark fruits. It's never so slight chocolatiness about this. Almost like a chocolate covered like currant or something like that, or raisin. You don't really get chocolate covered currants, do you? But still get a little bit of that rye bread. But that sort of like darker, sweeter, brown sugar sort of caramelly syrupiness is coming through more, whereas the Maximator is a little bit more bready and earthy. They both smell fucking amazing. But I think out of the two, Nose, because why are you going to compare appearances? You know, it's not Miss World, is it? Do you know what I mean? I might as well, while we're just waiting for them to settle a little bit, get the Untapped for each beer. But I think on the nose, the Weltenberger, just about, it's that little bit more of a sweetness to it, which I like. So we'll have a look at Maximator, see if they've got an English description on the Untapped. 7.5, as we've seen. The average rating is 3.72 out of 5. Let's see. The description: the pleasant dark Doppelbock of monasterial origin. Festivities during the chilly season. It's been a little bit chillier today. Let's see what my friends on Untapped. We've got 5 reviews from friends on Untapped. Not that I use Untapped a lot. And the average rating of 5 check-ins is 4.20. But on the sort of like general check-ins, 18,000 check-ins with an average of 3.72. Now, even after that amount of reviews, that's to me, actually, no, that's a little bit unfair, if I'm being honest. So, 1,000 beers. 1,000 beers. I think I know who that is. Isn't that the guy who's doing like a beer from each country as well? He's been on the streams a couple of times. What did the rating? Just from 2018. There's no rating on that one. Then we've got the slag. That is Harry Meadows, aka Blue Nose Wanker Reviews. Let's give this 4.5 out of 5. Well, he sort of reviewed it twice. Yeah, so the first time, 4.5, Frig Yesh. And then his second review was back on it. Both of them bought from Simply Local Burnwood. Then we've got Stephen. Not sure what that is. Gives it apologies if you're watching this, Stephen. Can't even recognise the photo. Gave it a 3.5 and says lots of plums. Michael Koenig, who I believe is a German beer sommelier, or he might be involved in a brewery. Or am I thinking of? I'm not thinking of the guy from Meisel, the Meisel brothers, am I? No, because then his second name would be Meisel. Although he could not be a family member. I don't know. I'm so disconnected from the industry. Gave it a 4 out of 5. And then we've got Brauwolf, who puts on like events in Germany and stuff. Bock Friday. Today's Bock Friday. Perfect. Gave it a 4. Then we've got David from the Beer House in Ossett, who says, wow, writing an article on this beer for Wakefield Camera, #Yorkshire Hour, gave it a 5. And that was in 2013, that check-in. So, yeah, pretty good scores there. So then we will have a look at the Assam Bock. I should have actually had the my MacBook so I could have screen shared it, but I'm lazy. So just waiting for that to load. As we've said, 7.3% ABV. My internet's been absolutely shocking recently, so I'm going to catch up on the comments, to which there have been a few. Let's see. Goldrake says, I watched V for Vendetta this morning. Lovely film, and it's so lovely film, and it's so what's going on today. I've still never watched that. Never watched that. He goes, yeah, exactly, Peter. They won't do it though. Government wants spending and spending, hence why kids aren't taught how to spend wisely, invest, etc., etc. Then says LMAO, and then got a new Parker, the real deal, and been given 50 badges spot, including original Jam and Who badges. Oh, very nice. I do like a good badge. I saw your jacket. It's lovely on Instagram. Let's see. Simply Local Burnwood. I know that shop pretty well, says Goldrake. I do want to visit there. And then James says, what happened to that rat face mod wannabe beer reviewer? Anyone know? God knows. God knows what he's up to. Still uploading every now and then. But he's just a bit of a knob though, isn't he? So looking on Untapped, and I've already checked this in 3 times, and I've it's got a rating of 5. 5 friend check-ins, giving it an average of 4 out of 5. And then everyone is about 20,000 check-ins with an average of 3.61. Very nice. So for the description, we've got it in German. So I'll read out the German. I won't try and translate it. Luckily, Untapped will translate it for me. So if any German-speaking viewers are watching this, I do apologize beforehand. Der Weltenberger Assenbock verdankt seinen Namen dem genialen, barocken Maler und Baumeister Cosmos Damian Assan. Der malzbetonte Bock bestürmt leichte Röstaromen, die eine Kaffeenote erahnen lassen. Freunde und Kenner schätzen ihn besonders wegen seines kräftigen Süßen, sehr aromatischen und bis zum Abgang anhaltenden Geschmacks. Mit seinen 6,9% Alkoholgehalt ist es der stärkste Gerstensaft aus der Weltenberger Familie. And the English translation is the Weltenberger Assenbock owes its name to the brilliant Baroque painter and builder Cosmos Damian, who I am guessing is the chap on the label. The malt-emphasized bock exudes light roast aromas, which give a glimpse of a coffee note. Friends and connoisseurs especially appreciate it because of its strong, sweet, very aromatic, and lasting to finish. With its 6.9% ABV content, it's the strongest barley juice from the Weltenberg family. Barley juice. Is someone going to brew a beer and say this is what we call a barley juice? So yeah, 6.9 on the description, but it's clearly 7.3%. So I'm not sure if they've sort of upped the ABV, or I don't know, maybe that's the percentage that you'd get straight from the brewery itself. I'm not too sure. So we'll have a look at the friends check-in. So Lecker Bierchen, one of my German Untapped friends, gave it 3.5 out of 5. Michael Koenig makes another appearance but hasn't rated it. Then we've got Swilling Grog, a legend of beer tube from Australia. Not seen him for a while. Gave it a 4 out of 5 and says delicious malty goodness. Then we've got Stephen again, who says lots of malt with a heavy wort flavour, sweet and without a doubt very German. 3.5 out of 5. Then we've got Real Ale Craft Beer, who says remarkable beer. Watch the video beer review. www.youtube. Yeah, we know that. Gave it a 5. Chris Hoffman gave it a 4 and says awesome. So it seems that has the sort of more favourable response out of the friends group, whereas it seems that the Maximator overall has a slightly better sort of review figures, but then you take that with a pinch of salt, really, don't you? But there's not much in it. There's not much in it. So, without any further ado, they've not warmed up too much, but they're not as chilled down as they were. Where, by the way, Doppelbocks taste really good chilled down, and they taste really good at room temperature. When it comes to like autumn, winter, and I've got Doppelbocks, I will just take them out of the drinks cabinet and just drink it straight from the bottle as well. But there's nothing wrong with a nice chilled down lager. Anyway, so the head retention on this is amazing on the Maximator, whereas the head has pretty much dissipated now on the Weltenberger. So both smell good. Let's give the Maximator a taste. Prost. You just take a swig of a beer sometimes, and you either, when it hits the spot, you're either going to be like, fuck, jumping around the room, or you just take a sip and you just sort of sink into yourself. First impressions, very fruity and very jammy. Dare I say it, very reminiscent of a Black Forest Gatto. There's a certain amount of oiliness to the body. It's got a rich, robust body to it. Just the style in general just oozes sort of decadence. But I'm actually surprised at how fruit forward it is. It's like you've made your own jam with like mixed berries, backed up with a really nice sweet nuttiness up front, but then you get a really nice sort of like roasted nuttiness on the back. Spicy German rye bread throughout. It's earthy and it's a little bit fruity sweet. Oh, it's absolutely spot on, that. Absolutely mega. Really, really, really good. So while I compose myself and let Peter Jr. go flaccid again, we shall have a look at the comments. And of course, YouTube has decided to restart itself. Good old YouTube. Let's see. Goldrake says, fake mod in response to James. I think I drink too much for my age as well, says Goldrake. Oh, God, same here. After Manchester last weekend, or the weekend just gone, I should say, I thought, you know what? Not going to drink. I'm not going to drink a drop throughout the week. But then I realised Tuesday's my day off. So, well, I'll drink on the Monday because I'm not in work on the next day. But then, sometimes you come home from work and you just think, do you know what? Tonight's the night. I'm just going to crack open a beer. Just one beer. Doesn't mean it needs to lead to 2, 3, and then 4, 5. No, just one beer. That'll do me fine. And I think I've done that for the last couple of days. Well, pretty much every day this week. I mean, I reviewed this earlier today. when I came in just before us tea. The Northern Monk other half and Zagavor collaboration for Hop City Resurrection. Really nice IPA. And I've got a feeling, because it is Friday, I'll probably crack open another beer after I finish the stream, even though I said I wouldn't. Let's see. James says he was a fake, not fit to lace our desert trek. And he hasn't listened to Weller's lyrics properly. LOL, Weller's legit. Anti-Tory, my favourite band is The Jam. Gotta love The Jam. When the Waistline hairline went, I had to leave mod behind, sir. House full of tootles, mine says James. I'm a young modster, as people would say. All my family are mods. Verdus, I have a couple of mates who Northern Soul it still, but it keeps them young. Oh, exactly. Some of those dance moves. Wigan Casino. But yeah, I do like a lot of The Jam. And that sort of music. Well, that sort of era. Whether it's the mod stuff, ska, punk, and then you've got like bands like the Stranglers, who, even though they were around for the punk time and still had that sort of like attitude, anarchic sort of feel. They weren't really punk, they were like sort of like a prog. Like, just, I don't know, I've never really known how to fully describe the Stranglers. They had sort of like the attitude, but they had the sort of like intellectual side of things, and they just had the prog sort of music, obviously coming from the likes of Dave Greenfield, who was sorely missed. I'm very tempted to watch the Stranglers on the farewell tour, but it just seems really wrong with the fact that there's only JJ Burnell left. So I don't think Jet Black tours anymore, and I'm not sure if he's actually been drumming on the last few albums due to his health. But I mean, Baz is a great frontman, and some of the songs from post Hugh Cornwell Stranglers have been really good. And this new album that they're bringing out, from the like little teasers I've heard, awesome stuff, really good stuff. But yeah, Stranglers for me. Just see, my favourite band of all time will always be The Clash. Stranglers, I didn't really listen to when I was like proper getting into the Clash and then music from that era. I think I was like, on the off chance, I bought like the Stranglers greatest hits. Yeah, the one with the tin of peaches on the front. And I remember listening to that, and because I was such a fucking loner dweeb when I was growing up in high school, I'd used to put that CD on and mime with a guitar as if it was a gig. And then it wasn't until probably about 4 or 5 years ago I'd start to listen to a bit more. And then for my birthday, I asked for the box set of the studio albums. And I just started listening. I was just like, wow. And then obviously I got to see Hugh Cornwell live a couple of years ago in Manchester. That was a great experience. Although I was a fucking cringy bastard when I actually met him and got. I can never know how to act around people like that. Gave him a hug. I could tell he wasn't really, into it. Understandably so. But what point am I trying to make? I don't know. But yeah, just music from that time. I mean, I posted on Instagram earlier tonight. Modern music, and Goldrake will agree with me. Modern music's just, it's like, I mean, I know a lot. There's always going to be an image with a band, but I find like modern music, it's sort of like image before actual music, and it's all like it's going to sound like such sour grapes as a single 32-year-old, but just like these handsome, skinny, fucking dweebs And then you've got these poser bands like Rifles and or what are they called? Who I really don't like. The singer's got his arms are full of tattoos. He always wears sort of like Hawaiian shirts. He's got like the classic beard and then shave. I don't Idols. I can't fucking stand Idols. Don't understand why people really buzz over Idols. I just don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. And if Harry or Lucy, if you're watching this, fuck Idols. Seriously. The sweatshirt tucked under my tits then. Fuck Idols. Okay? They're not that good. The singer's cool, but that's about it. See, I really like, in terms of modern music, I like Sleaford Mods. I just love that whole sort of. But they don't play me. They don't play the instruments live on stage. Yeah, but they actually record the album, and then their sort of like thing is to just have the singer. Can't remember his name. And then that guy just pretty much like presses play on the laptop. Money. But there's actually interesting music and lyrics. But yeah, modern music, I don't. Even like in genres that I'm a big fan of, the only sort of modern music to me that sounds good or interesting is like electronic sort of music. That's rarely only sort of newer music that excites me. Aside from that, it's just me listening to music from yesteryear, really. Yeah. Lots of punk, post-punk, pub rock, that sort of thing. I listen to that a lot. I like prog sort of stuff and really classic sort of rock, but not like the gimmicky big sort of stuff. I'd much rather listen to like America than Chicago. No, like Chicago. I was supposed to say I'd much rather listen to America than the Eagles, although there's some beautiful Eagles songs. And like Jethro Tull, got a fascination with Jethro Tull. Judas Priest. And then on the more metal side of things, I'm a massive fan of Doom. But again, there's not really too many modern new Doom bands who are like. It's weird. There's just modern music to me. It's just retreading old steps, but that's culture. But yeah, I've not been excited by a band like a new band. I mean, I could be a proper cop-out piece of shit and say the band that my brother's in, Apostles. But then again, a lot of that music, it's not really what I'm into, but I'm, proud as fuck of my younger brother for actually not only being in a band, but also getting gigs and putting out like an EP and having songs on Spotify. And it's good to see that sort of stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, any sort of music, seeing it live, amazing. And even though I'm saying like fuck Idols, big respect to Idols for actually coming together, putting music out there. And even I'm saying this like, oh fuck modern music because it's boring and shite. People are actually coming together and putting music out there. They're doing something that I've always wanted to do, but I've never had the sort of confidence because I rarely got put off because I've been in a band. We never really got outside of the jam sessions, but my brain was like, yeah, but if you play gigs, most of the time, if you get photographed, it's from underneath. And because I've always been a bigger boy, it's just like, yeah, I don't really want to see photos of myself, like, retro of a guitar, like mid, like doing that, but it's like, and like double chin and like tits and stuff. So that stupidly put me off. Plus, I don't have like the dexterity to be a good guitarist. Although I can play, you know, I've never been taught how to play guitar, but I can pick up an instrument and play it. I'll come up with something. It won't be the most original or technically amazing thing you'll ever hear. But yeah, I've just never really applied myself. It's like that with my art. I could have applied myself more with like my YouTube sort of stuff. I think that's always been like a God, we're getting deep now. Don't want to get deep. But yeah, I think I've just never really applied myself and wasted like my late teens and my whole 20s just plodding about. And it's only now that I'm being a little bit more sort of like creative and putting myself out there and actually applying myself and getting back into art and stuff. The way, I mean, I'd love to be a filmmaker, but it's just like, well, it's too much work, even though it'd be amazing to be involved in that industry, which is so easy to do even at, you know, the age of 32, but it's just making that step, really. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, what was I going to say? I've always sort of like likened myself to a tortured sort of like artist trapped in the body of a man who has no modicum of creativity. No, not modicum, because I've got a creative mind. Compliment myself for the first time in a while. I'm like the tortured sort of like artist, but I'm trapped in the body of a man who has no practical like the practical side of things. I'm trying to sound more eloquent than I actually am. It's kicking in again. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you're the tortured sort of artist, but I'm trapped in the body of someone who doesn't have the practical skill, if that makes sense. But I do have a beautiful yet flawed mind, and I've got a good fashion sense, so you know, sometimes I dress a little bit skinnier than what I should be. But then again, I do look really good in like obscenely skinny jeans because I do have nice sort of woman-like legs. And my arms aren't like fat at all. It's just you get up to there, like just above the crotch area, and it's just like this is a mess. I liken it to when you're a kid and you're like in school and like, oh, draw your family. And every sort of person in that photo, it's just like a big circle, a head, and then arms coming off it. I'm sort of like a child's drawing. That's what my body's like. But I pull it off. I've got a dad bod. What can I say? And it's going in a really bizarre direction. But I think that's why people tend to watch my stuff. Not for the actual content that should be there, just because it's about what happens in between the beer reviews. But yeah, going back to it, modern music is pretty wank. Let's see. So, fair dues. Yeah, and James has pretty much summarised Stranglers perfectly. Stranglers proto-sonic youth. I can see that. Evening, Peter, says Adam. Mersey Beers. Good evening, sir. Evening, Mr. Peter. Sorry I haven't come back to you this week. Drinking mildly, lad. Oh, very nice. No need to worry. Your beers are here. They're safe. And they're just awaiting for you to collect them. Horse Beach and WH Long, great new Mac bands. See, now I'm interested. I think it's just because when the sort of like, the blog sort of thing kicked off in sort of like the early to mid 2000s. But this is again going more to like the electronic side of things where, everyone was sort of like just producing their own sort of music in the bedroom on like a laptop and, with like a mixer and stuff. I used to like go out of my way to search for new music. But I don't tend to do that now. So I can't really complain about how modern music just does nothing for me. As you're all aware, and it's probably one of my best points as a human, I'm full of shit. But you love it rarely. Let's see. But yeah, Horse Beach and WH Long, I'll have to look out for them. Adam says, I like One Idol song only because it's a British wrestler's theme. Fair dues. Fair dues. James is having a terrible Steely Dan period. Could be worse, James, don't worry. Hit that like button, people, or don't. It's a free world. There is enough pushy people in the world. Thank you, Adam. Adam is going forward my head of public relations. So any queries or complaints, please get in touch with him. Always been more a fan of The Who. Do love The Who. John Entwistle, to me, greatest bass player of all time. What instrument do you play? Says Adam. Guitar mainly. I can play drums, but not with the actual bass drum. Rhythm is a big thing for me. I can't play and sing either. That's always been a thing I've never been able to do. But yeah, like keyboards, I like playing around with sounds and that sort of stuff. Sounds so pretentious. Bass, I can do very simple bass lines. It's just, I like giving everything a go when it comes to instruments. And I'm really enjoying playing on GarageBand as well on my phone. Bigger boy, you make me laugh, half the size of me. Don't put yourself down like that. We got Thomas. See, the thing with me, I'm disproportioned. I'm disproportioned. I'm just like a very sort of awkward body shape. I'd say I can't wear stripes. Let's put it that way. And I've got one breast bigger than the other as well. Thomas from Window Peer Review says hi everyone. Evening, Thomas. And we've got Sam. Good morning, Sam. He says, hey dude. Hope you're both doing okay and hope you're doing all right as well, Adam. What mild are you drinking, Adam? That's the burning question. And what else is everyone else drinking? And what else is everyone else drinking? That doesn't sound right. Here's one for you. And I think I know the answer, but here's one for you. Do you know what dawned on me? That's actually one of those examples of how beautiful the English language is and language in general. Peace of mind. Now, I was in work, I was having to send an internal email because we'd had a customer complaint. And I told them, just check your bank account. And on the email, it's like, oh, just like advice for their peace of mind. Now, obviously, in that circumstance, because I had to question it. I was like, hang on, which piece do I put? Do I put PIECE or PEACE? And then I thought, hang on a minute, you can have like a peace of mind, like relief and like if something's wrong or you think something's wrong and then you find out that nothing's wrong, just for your peace of mind. So obviously PEACE because peaceful. But then if you want to give someone a piece of your mind, you obviously use PIECE. And it's things like that which fuck with my brain. I remember once I had a period. No, not that sort of period. Period of time. I had a period where I would look at my hand and just think of how absurd and obscene almost a hand is. Like the fact that it all moves individually, but it can all move instantaneously, like in rhythm. It's like the shape, and it's just I don't know. I can't put into words. But there was a time where I'd just sit and look at my hand, and I'd just proper get paranoid about how intricate yet insignificant it is in the grand scheme of things. Like thinking, yeah, but we've got a hand, and like animals have paws, and like what other species in the whole vast sort of like universe, like what do they use, and what would their hands or claws look like? And it was just like just thinking of the shape and the concept of a hand, but I'm messed up. I'm sure there's sort of like undiagnosed mental illness there somewhere. But yeah, it would. I can't even scrape the tip of the iceberg of the things I used to think about when looking at a hand. It's don't get me started on the concept of thinking where would that door go to? Like you're like walking like in a city down a back alley. Don't know why you'd be down a back alley on your own, but what you do in your own spare time is completely up to you. But oh, like you walk through like an office building or whatever, and you see a door, and you'd be like, if I went in that door, because I had a fascination with doors when I was living in Germany. I'd just walk around Regensburg taking photos of doors, just because I've just had I developed an interest in doors, and then I was like thinking like, would my life change significantly if I just for no reason whatsoever, just out of curiosity's sake, if I went through that door? Do you know what I mean? Like, would I meet someone new? Would I meet an untimely end? Would I discover a life-changing sort of venue or situation? Or like, with me going through that door, how would it affect my life? Like, by not going through, sticking to the plan that I had of just going about the business and not wanting to go through any doors? And like, what would the knock-on effect be of me checking what's behind that door, seeing what's there, coming back out of that doorway? So yeah, proper head case sometimes. By the way, it's a beer review. It's a beer review, and we're talking about what happens if you went through a door. Goldrake, I think it's a good job I don't smoke weed regularly. I really, really think it's a blessing in disguise. I don't touch that stuff that often. Rum Razor Mild from North Riding Brewery, says Adam. The rum is very prominent, but correct body of a mild. Nice. And then we've got Rasco and Disco beer review. I'm not too sure if it's Rasco or Disco. London. Oh, it's Disco. He's introduced. They've introduced themselves on the next comment. So it's Disco. So good evening, Disco. Peace of mind versus a piece of your mind. Yeah, it's just one of those. It's so insignificant, but it fascinates the life out of me, stuff like that. Glad it's Disco. Saw how pissed Rasco was earlier on Simon's stream. I'll miss that. Then we've got Rory Lee, who says haha, but I'm sure I saw a comment from Rory somewhere prior to that. Or did he write that after that? No, Roy says, you've got some good shit talking about your hand. You on the good shit. I'm always on the good shit, Rory, even when I'm not even touching the good shit. Good evening, Rory, and good evening, Disco. Hope you're doing well. Disco Hamezi, yeah, I think he was advised to go and sit down. Hope he's okay. Hashtag Disco. Disco's with Craig, so I'm sure he will be fine. Craig could be a bad influence sometimes. He did make me partake in finishing a little bit over a half bottle of a Hopping Frog barrel-aged barley wine, which was very welcome, I should say. But the fact that I was working the next day and then drinking afterwards, not good. All the doors lead to women and booze. I fucking wish they did. Pete, you'd probably be arrested for breaking and entering. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's just... And then it's like, well, if I'm like going to this direction, I've never seen what's on that turn off. I'm not going over it again. Because it's just going to be just tedious conversation. One-way tedious conversation from me. I'm back, says Goldrake. Yeah, I need to cut down on it now, to be fair. Used to it every day. The Jam are my favourite band, but like all the things that came with it. The Clash, Stranglers, Pistols. Yeah, just something about that period of music. And then, of course, the post-punk stuff. Seeing these, like the bands that started off as punk. See, I like the Clash for how like their music constantly evolved. I love like, you know, the Clash, give them enough rope, and the sort of like earlier punky side of things. But then London Calling is just a masterful album. I think my favourite Clash album would be Sandinista, just because it's basically 2 albums worth of just all sorts of different styles of music. You've got the disco-y side of things. You've got rap, which you know, people always like give Blondie, you know, props for being like one of the first sort of like non-rap artists to rap in a song. But I'm sure Joe Strummer did it first with Magnificent Seven and Lightning Strikes Not Once But Twice before Rapture. Not that I'm throwing shade on Blondie or Rapture, because Rapture's probably one of my favourite Blondie songs. But yeah, I mean, Combat Rock, that was an interesting album. I think that was one of the first albums I actually fully bought from The Clash. And it was interesting to hear that album when, yeah, there was that tension between the band, and you can really sense it, you know, listen to it compared to the previous albums. But I also like Cut the Crap. I think that's a really intriguing album. It's not a Clash album, obviously, because there's only Paul and Joe in there. But it's still good. Dirty Punk, great song. This Is England, great song. But yeah. If I was to pick my favourite Stranglers album, I'd probably say The Raven. I just like how sort of like almost sci-fi, but mystic, obviously, with the whole, you know, Viking sort of themes there. But then you've got like songs about nuclear arms and things like that. I mean, the gospel according to the Men in Black, talking about UFOs and the Men in Black, just these concepts. But music, but I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I'd have to do a proper like stream and actually prep it before I talk about like music and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I've only drank the Maxima Toy. I've not even tasted the Assam Bock. What's a music artist you? I missed a couple of comments before that one, James. Sam, sorry. Let's see. London Calling is superb. Yeah, it's a great album. So Sam asks, what music artist do I despise, and what's a beer style you could go without? So, artist who I despise. I mean, I've ranted on enough about idols, but I think there is legitimately worse bands or artists than idols. I'd say, see, part of me just wants to say Post Malone, but he's actually a genuinely talented, like, producer and musician. I think he records a lot of the instruments on his own. So I'm not going to say Post Malone. An artist who I despise. I'm going to say idols. I can't be fucking doing with idols. I really, really can't. It's like music that your edgy girlfriend likes to listen to. Or Two Door Cinema Club. They're pretty fucking wank. yeah, someone like that. And style of beer I can do without. I think I've had plenty of a discussion involving Adam with this style. I'm going to say the white stout. I don't see its purpose. I don't know what's in there that makes it its own sort of style. To me, it's just like a strong pale beer, but with maybe some slight, sometimes roasty characters. And it just annoys me. It just annoys me. There's something about white stouts that just never sit right with me. So yeah, white stouts and Two Door Cinema Club. Although, mind you, Arctic Monkeys could be up there, but then again, I think Alex Turner is cool as fuck. But yeah, Sam, I do not have 1 ounce of hate in my heart, which is a bold-faced lie. Let's see. Girl Boys and Park Life, what 2 awful songs, says Goldrake. Bands I despise, says Adam. Cheeky Girls. Treading on thin ice there. No, I'd very much agree, actually. And beer style I could do without lager. Oy, oy, oy. And I mean, I expect this from Harry, Sam, but yourself and Goldrake, I feel attacked. Now, do you know what? It's just I don't get them. As I said earlier on, I think the lead singer's quite cool. He's interesting, but the music, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. Sam, oh shit, I remember that's Goldrake. I'm only reading it like that because it's not shown on my YouTube feed. But Adam could do without lagers. Do you know what? You like what you like. Who am I to judge? I'm in love with Alex Turner. If I was a girl, I'd want to do him. There's a really cool video. It was like a mashup that was doing arounds on Facebook. Tap my belly then. That's completely thrown me off. Yeah, there was a cool video which like took clips from I don't know what like music videos or albums that it came from, but it's just like Alex Turner in like Las Vegas, and like there's all these filters on it. There's all these neon lights. He's there with like his retro like blazers and shirts, like in a bar. And what was the song? It was like Macintosh something 2018. I played the song that was playing there. It's one of those songs where you've probably heard it loads of times in like meme culture. I'm doing Harry now. I'm playing music. If the stream goes momentarily dead, you know we've been hit by a copyright strike. Let's see. Macintosh Plus. Let's see. But it's just really cool, like the stylistics of the video. Alex Turner's outfits. He's a cool dresser. He really is. Razorlight are a band that I despise. We'll put them on that list. But yeah. And this is like the soundtrack of Alex Turner just like being an absolute G, driving around Las Vegas and in deserts. I think you can play 30-second clips without YouTube fucking you up the arse. But yeah, Alex Turner is pretty cool. I will say that. And turn the volume down when I put my stream back on. Let's see. James laughs at Sam. But Goldrake also likes Arctic Monkeys. Been listening to them ever since I can remember. I did really enjoy the first album when it came out. But they seem to be a band that a lot of chavs seem to have clocked onto. Not that that should make any sort of like excuse for you to hate a band, but Kooks, I can't stand the Kooks. Baby Shambles, put Baby Shambles on that list. I would say put anything that Pete Doherty is involved in, but I quite like the Libertines. Plus the fact they were produced by Mick Jones, but White Star Black IPAs, the stars often brew badly, but when done right, are rarely beatable. There is school thought that coffee IPAs and pales should be included in the white stout category. Interesting, yeah. I can see why people wouldn't like coffee IPAs and pales. Let's see. And Sam is also a fan of Arctic Monkeys. I have to reassess the people who I associate myself with, apparently. I'm joking. I really like Jeff Buckley and Nick Drake, but too much and I get bummed out. God, yeah. Completely agree. I think we were, I think it was when you left, can't get the words out. When you left, Adam, in Manchester, we went to Hip Hop Chip Shop, had a great fish and chips. Highly recommended if you're in Manchester. The gravy's awesome. It just tastes like stock, like beef stock, but it's beautiful. And the mushy peas were good as well. And the chips were good. Good sort of like hipster wanky chip shop. But then we also went to Fierce, and Grace was playing, and I'd not heard that song in absolutely ages. I mean, my dad is a massive fan of Jeff Buckley, but yeah, I completely agree with that. If you listen to too much of Jeff Buckley and Nick Drake, although some beautiful songs. I mean, One of These Things First is my favourite Nick Drake song. That's a beautiful song. And it's sad what happened to Jeff Buckley. Really, really sad. Tony Green and Black IPA and White Stout Call both suck, but can be done. Northern Monk on Sunday. Yeah, it was after we finished Northern Monk. I love a lot of English music, old and new. And then Goldrake says to Sam, they are brilliant. Grace a banger. I like the unfinished album from Jeff Buckley. Some bangers on there. Which album is that? Because I've got like, I can't. What Jeff Buckley album have I got? It's almost like a compilation. And I'm not sure if it's the same one I'm thinking of, but yeah, great. Just his vocal range and just the way that song flows, and then you've got the stringed parts. It's quite epic at times. It's just beautiful. Yeah, is that true? Chavs might tell me Storm Monkeys. It's sort of annoying. Yeah, there were a lot of like indie bands who Chav sort of like fucking latched onto with the benefit for old fingers. Not a Tory. I'm not a Tory. That was a joke. But yeah, it's like this like chavvy indie stuff. I'm like, ugh, I fucking put my fingers down my throat. And then when I finished, I'll fucking gouge your eyes out with me. Gouge your eyes out with me thumbs. I won't do that. That'd be awful. Sketches for My Sweetheart the Drunk. Is that the album that's got a song called like a garden full of something girls or something like that? And on the back cover of the album, there's like a photo of Jeff Buckley playing guitar live, and it's like over saturated and red. And on the front cover, it's like a black and white photo of Jeff Buckley. I think that's the album I've got. I've never fully listened to that. I don't know why. Arctic Monkeys used to be Stoner's band before. Now listened to by Scruffy Chavs. Exactly. It's funny how music evolves, and that's the beauty of music. So I've nearly finished the Maxima tour, and I've not even started on the Assan box. So I can't. I've got that much left to do a comparison. It's just drinking absolutely beautifully. No, that's the live album, I think. Okay. I'll have to, after the stream, I'll have to take a photo of the album that I'm thinking of. But yeah, Dad used to play Grace album all the time. Anyway, so back to the beer. I'm loving the music conversation. The album we'll talk about has Sky in a Landfill on. Interesting. I'll have to look into that because it's going to bug me if I don't. But yeah, can't go wrong with Jeff Buckley. And I like his dad as well, Tim Buckley. I say like I've not fully like listened to Tim Buckley, but songs that I have listened to, like Be Careful As a Baby in the House, that's a good song. 3 favourite Sabbath songs. Just be another 1981 jam. Okay, now me knows. I've not been touching that stuff, don't worry, Goldrake. Just been given another 1981 original jam badge too. Nice. And 3 fave Sabbath songs. See, that's the thing. Black Sabbath are a band that I've never actually fully like listened to a lot of. It's just like every now and then a Sabbath song would come on. Did they do Warpix? I mean, Paranoid's a good song. It's the songs everyone knows, really. I do have to properly just spend like hours, have a few beers, and just listen to some Black Sabbath. You want some coke from Telegram? Now, funny enough, my local dealer, if you will, is a good friend of my younger brother. So mate rates if you were to want to get that stuff. Yes, Peter Warpig is a tune. I like me a bit of Sabbath. Yeah, it's only sort of like in recent years that I've fully started to get into that side of things. I think it stemmed from chancing across Black Electric Wizard, and then of course sort of going backwards. This Sabbath, mate, you won't regret it. There's Jeff Buckley bootleg live album. That's track Big Mountain, I think, which is a Tim Buckley song. Okay, nice. Yeah, again, Jeff Buckley. The stuff I've listened to time and time again, really enjoyed. But there's other stuff aside from Grace that I've not fully gone into. And I don't know why. It's one of those things I've always intended to do. I have to stretch my leg because I'm getting a bit of cramp. So, we shall move on to the Assan book. And then I'll get back to some comments. So, we've already smelt it. This smells a little bit sweeter than the Maxima Tour. Still has that syrupy sweetness now that it's warmed up a little bit. So, let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. Oh my word. Just like the Maxima Tour, that first sip, I'm fucking collapsing against the wall. Man. I'm telling you now, the Maxima Tour was beautiful. But the Assan bock is just another level. There's this slight black currant licorice flavour coming through. There's quite a pronounced coffee character, which I've never really picked up on in Assan bock. It actually has some really stout-like qualities to it. There's almost like a slight smokiness there as well. Oh, the aftertaste is definitely like blackcurrant licorice. It's remarkably viscous. My God. Ooh. Yeah, that licoricey aftertaste is really coming through. There's a really nice rye bread character. How this beer only has like a 3.85 on Untapped is quite frankly beyond me. I really need to hoover it because the dust is just completely kicking my arse. The sweetness you get on the nose doesn't come out too much on the flavour. There is still that sweetness there. There's like that dark, like steeped berry, figgy, pruny sort of flavour. Just swizzled some all over the floor. Good stuff. And stained my fingers in the process. I got, with the Maximator, like Black Forest Gatto sort of characters. This, to me, is a little bit more earthy. Not as sweet. There is still sort of like very subtle, sort of like slightly burnt caramel character to it. The body on this is just wonderful. There's an oiliness. There's a really noticeable viscousness. Viscousness, you fucking knobhead. But yeah, the coffee character in this. I'd say this is a little bit more robust overall than the Maximator. Man. There's a reason why I bought this beer a lot when I was living in Germany. You could even get the 6-pack of 330ml bottles for like €4. And you're paying about between £3 to £4 for one bottle here in England. Tell you what, those Germans don't know how lucky they are. The fact that they have this quality of beer produced on the scale that it is at such a great price. I mean, having this fresh at the Closter itself was just beyond remarkable. It was up there with having Augustine Lagerbeer Hell. Oh, he's talking about that beer again. Or Augustine Lagerbeer Hell from the source. Beers like this from the source are just untouchable. Man, Doppelbox though. Do you know what? This is just in an absolute world of its own. I know there were plenty of more Doppelbocks that I need to try. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the best Doppelbock you will ever drink in your life. Not going to throw shade on this because this is masterful as well. And Harry's messaging the Facebook Messenger group, but he's not here though, is he? Because he's a fucking tramp. I'm joking. I love Harry. He let me share a hotel room with him free of charge, so The sore arse the next day was payment enough, I suppose. But I just want to buy loads of bottles of this. Because when it comes to Christmas, I could just happily just drink this every day in December. I'm even getting like a tobacco character from this. Man. I was absolutely loving drinking this, but moving on to Weltenberg Kloster Assenbock from the oldest Abbey brewery in the world. It's just another level completely. It really, really is. And, you know, I picked up 2 other Doppelbocks as I showed earlier on. These were great as well. It's just, if you want rich, robust, decadent, indulgent flavours, then to me, there's no better style than a Doppelbock. And yeah, I absolutely love and adore this beer. This is to Doppelbocks what is lager beer hell from Augustina is to the Helles lager. Just absolutely beautiful. I can't stress enough how gorgeous this beer is. This is screaming to be made into a gravy with your roast dinner. Or you can make a sauerbraten with it. This would be beyond perfect with a bread, cheese and cured meat board. Gamey, meaty meals. Drink this with it and make gravy with it. I know in the past when I was rating beers, I threw out 5 out of 5. I threw it out there. Probably more times than I should have. But this is one of those instances where 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, however you want to scale your ratings with beers. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's no salt in it. Eiweiß, is that? That's not egg white, is it? Sorry, I'm just having to quiz my own German. Could you have said that in a more poncy, campy way? I don't think you could have. Eiweiß. What is that? I can't remember what that word is. But salt, there's no salt in it. So Jamie Oliver can fuck right off. Protein. So protein is, and this is per 100 ml, 0.8 grams. Sugar, 0.5 grams. Hang on. Of which sugar is the translation. Fat is 0.5 grams. There's 266 kilojoules of energy. Why am I reading this on the back of a fucking beer? It's It's going to make you a little bit chubby because the sugar content, but mate, this is beautiful. You can give me like the most sought after, like imperial barrel aged, brewed by a virgin imperial stout. You can give me the juiciest and hypiest of IPAs or double IPAs or triple IPAs, which I have been gushing over this year. You can have all of these like exclusive. Oh, there was only 2 of these brewed in the whole world. You can keep those beers. If you want to influence me and seek my favour, just shower me. If you want to do it literally, that's up to you. But just shower me in bottles of this, because I would happily burn my house down with my family in it for a lifetime supply. I'm joking. I'm only joking, people. Let's see. We've got a few comments. I'm a mod, but I like me a bit of metal, says Goldrake. Don't tell my family. Fairies wear boots, War Pigs and Iron Man are probably my 3 favourite. Sam asks Goldrake is 2 favourite Arctic Monkeys albums. Sabbath Live is so much better. I can definitely imagine that. Adam says, but yeah, Nick Drake, Pink Moon, a nice cigar, and 3 fingers of bourbon with a sunset. Oh, Adam, you're putting images in my head. That's beautiful. My brother's friend absolutely adores Pink Moon, and whenever he comes round and's had a few drinks, that song's always playing. Goldrake replies to Sam, hard one, probably whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not, and humbug. Back in a tick, got to check on my tea. Back in a tick, got to check on my coffee, says Sam, also. I think Goldrake meant tea as an evening meal. I drink beer from the German brewery earlier tonight also. What a coincidence. So what do you drink, Sam? Yeah, tea what you eat, says Goldrake. Back, got some fake kebab meat. I don't do meats, sort of craving a greasy doner though. Is that by choice, or were you told that you can't do meats? Clueless doctors, practitioners, lol. See, I really like Quorn. I like Quorn. I like that Quorn doner meat you can get, and that comes in the non-refrigerated packet. That's nice on an arm. But yeah, I have no words for how much I'm enjoying this beer right now. I've made this point time and time again, and I'm not gonna aim this point at Adam, because even though he's not a fan of lagers, Adam is so knowledgeable and has a lot of respect for the art of brewing. But if you're one of those people who sort of like sees lager, and as I said, I'm not saying Adam's this person. I would never, never throw such assertions towards such a wonderful man. But if you're one of these people who sort of like your experience with lager is like fizzy macro piss, and my watch keeps coming undone, which is sad annoying. And understandably so, because there's some really fucking awful lagers out there. And let's face it, a lot of us in our drinking sort of upbringings, from the bottle to the grave. But yeah, a lot of us would have, drank, gone halves, or if there was four of us, gone a quarter on like a crate of some of the cheapest lager you could get. You've got to. I remember once, and this is really fucking awful. I had a friend who his grandma had to move in with him and his family. He didn't just live on his own and have to have his grandma move in with him. Could you imagine that? Yeah, I live with my grandma. She rents off me. But yeah, like in his house, his grandma had to move in, and she was going through. I can't remember if it was dementia or Alzheimer's. So she was doing things around the house, like putting like a tea towel in the oven and stuff like that. Did it stop us at 15 years old getting her to buy us alcohol from the nearest corner shop? No, it didn't. Not my idea. It was my friend's idea to exploit his own vulnerable grandmother to buy us alcohol. But yeah, you know what I mean? Getting someone to buy like a crate of Foster's or like a crate of Stella and then like 2 bottles of Martini Rosso. Martini Rosso. Fucking hell. So we've a lot of us, I would say, have started our sort of like conscientious beer journey. Fucking hell, pretentious does that sound? But I think a lot of us started with like just getting lagers because we want to get pissed with mates, and then getting to that point where we're like, yeah, I enjoy getting pissed, but this stuff's really getting boring. There's a whole sort of world of beer and alcohol that we could have. Unfortunately, a lot of the exposure to lager is mass-produced, low-quality, contract-brewed macro lagers. Notice how I just swiftly moved on from exploiting a vulnerable pensioner. We've all been there. Just ask Stuart Picard. Fucking old people joke. Sorry, Stuart. Yeah, so I think a lot of people have a bad taste in the mouth, literally from bad lagers. But my point is, if you want to try a lager that can show you how flavoursome and how robust and decadent and indulgent it could be, try a Doppelbock. And if you can, pick this one up, because to me it's just the best Doppelbock in the world, probably. See what I did there? Clever. I'm wasted in a call centre. I wish I was wasted in a call centre. It'd actually make my job a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, to summarise, because it is now approaching 10:30 in the evening, and I do have work tomorrow morning. To summarise, both of these, I'm just going to say, fine examples of the Doppelbock style. I'm doing this. I've not actually tasted them side by side yet, and I need to go over the comments as well. I'm a mess. So let's take a sip of the Maximator. And then take a taste of the Assembock. Dare I say it? It's night and day. This is so easy drinking. But this just has much more of a robust sort of palate. There's a lot more going on. It's got a much more satisfying velvety body. I mean, I'll still buy this by the crate load if possible, because it's one of my favourite beers in general, because it's one of my favourite breweries. But if I was to have a gun pointed at my head, sometimes you're better off dead. Can't remember the words of the West End Girls now. Idiot. But if I had a gun pointed to my head and had to pick one Doppelbock, imagine legitimately being in that situation, by the way. Maybe a crazed fan might do that to me. The only time I've ever really been noticed, I mean, James did know who I was when I was with Rob at Indieman, but we've only really actually got to know each other over the past like half a year, maybe since lockdown, really. The only time I've ever been properly noticed by a person as opposed to someone in the brewing industry, which that doesn't happen often, which I'm completely fine with, because I hate any sort of attention. Well, why are you on YouTube then, you knobhead? Because I'm behind a camera and you can't look at me. No, but seriously, the only time I've ever had someone legitimately recognise me, and he turned out to be an absolute fucking psycho who stalked me and Rob, and was actually really quite aggressive when we were having just normal conversations, to the point where me and Rob literally ran from Wonder Beyond's tap room to Track's tap room when he went to the toilet, because we are 14 years old, apparently. So maybe I'll bump into that guy again, and he will literally pull a gun to my head and favourite beer of all time is. Who knows? If I go through that door, what happens? You never know. There were so many questions. What is it with hands? And peace of mind. I'll give you a piece of my mind. There's so many things. God, this is a mess of a live stream. But it's been good. It's been entertaining. I just can't get over how amazing that beer is. So, yeah, if I were to have a gun pulled on me, I'd definitely say, without a shadow of a doubt, that the Weltenberger Kloster Assambock, even though there are plenty of Doppelbocks from Germany that I've yet to try, is by far my favourite Doppelbock in the whole world. And I picked both of these bottles up from House of Trembling Madness, as I did with these two Doppelbocks as well. Yeah, so highly recommended if you're in the UK. And by the way, you can also get mini kegs of the Schlenkerla Rauchbier Märzen. Why didn't I pick one up? Because I'm an idiot. But that'll be a good Christmas present, wouldn't it? A full mini keg of Schlenkerla Rauchbier Märzen. Christmas beer. All over. Okay, so I'll read through the last comments and then we'll end this stream here. Now, by choice, my body feels a lot more healthier. Yeah, I need to make more. I need to make better food choices. I tell you one thing that is rarely noticeably fucking me over more than alcohol would ever do is the fact that I'm drinking so much Pepsi Max during the day. I will forever say that soft drinks will cause much more harm than having one beer a day. Because at least, for the most part, beer is a fully natural product. But yeah, Pepsi. Because in work, I always buy 2 bottles each day of the small bottles because they're like 2 for 1, 2 for like £1.80 in the shop, and it's like that's my drinks for the day. But every time you do a food shop, you get like one of the pallets of Pepsi cans, and I mean, I'm gonna show you a bit of a shit over him. If my mum watched this, she'd be fucking angry. Look at that. Do you see those fucking Pepsi cans there? That's like, because I'm in work for half of a day. I'm at that point now. Why am I getting angry? Why are you angry, Peter? Calm down. I'm at that point now where I'll take a can of Pepsi up with me before I go to bed. So if I wake up in the middle of the night, I don't have water by the side of me. No, I have ever increasingly flat Pepsi to drink through the night if I get a dry mouth. And I wonder why I can't fucking sleep. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll have fish and chips once a month. That's it. Is that like chippy fish and chips? Yeah, I think you should. Like, that should never be like a regular thing or one of those. Can't be asked making anything. I'll order in, which is something I'm actually quite good at. Even though last night we got a Pizza Hut, and I'm always tempted to order a McDonald's breakfast through Uber Eats. But I don't get takeout food. I hardly get takeout food. It's always like once every 2 weeks. And even I think that's a bit too much. I had their pills, it was good, but no Augustina. Was that the Weltenberger pills? Well, their Baroque Dunkel, their Dunkel beer, that's absolutely gorgeous. Really good. If you see that, that's definitely worth giving a try. I think you should do a 12 Doppelbocks of Christmas, top 12 Doppel. Should I start again? I think you should do a 12 Doppelbox of Christmas, top 12 Doppelbox available. Adam, that's my Christmas theme this year. I'm not doing a beer advent calendar because doing a beer a day and trying to get it uploaded. God, I remember that Christmas where I actually did edited videos for the whole month of December. That's when I actually put effort and time into my channel. But yeah, 12 Doppelbox of Christmas, Adam. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And yeah, Sam agrees. I like box, Doppelbox, and fest beers. Just plain Hells and Pilsners are boring. Completely can see that. I do like a good fest beer. There's just something a little bit special about even like Paulaner's Oktoberfest beer. Augustina's Fest beer, their Oktoberfest beer. I just love it because it's got a painting of the church of a church on the label. But yeah, I've got a lot of time for fest beers. A lot of them do seem to be just like slightly tweaked version of their pre-existing Helles beers. But when you get that sort of like Märzen Fest beer, chef's kiss. Sorry, Jake. Sehr, very, indeed. Natürlich. Carling. Carling. Metallic in a liquid form. Rather have a bitter than a Pilsner generally. Pilsners, I like Pilsners when they've got a really sort of like citrusy flavour coming from the hop. Yes, do something similar. An old bloke called Sam, who lives a few doors away, will go up the offie and get anything he wants as long as he gets one can of John Smith's at the end. Fair dues. Sounds good to me. Back to sleep, lads, says Sam. Have a good one. You're probably already asleep by now, Sam, but if not, enjoy your slumber, sir. Sam Smiley, see you, matey. Rolly on his wrist, gold Rolex on his wrist. It's actually not a gold Rolex, it's a Casio. because I'm hipster. I'm a hipster wanker, although I'd much prefer you to refer to me as a hipster twat, because I do enjoy. I love the word twat. I like calling myself a twat. I think twat's a good thing to identify as. It's much better than he slash her, him, those sort of pronouns. So my pronoun is twat and cunt. Because I think, see, that's the thing with like being called a twat and a cunt. They work great as like two words of sort of like adoration. Like you can say if you mate, oh, you stupid twat. Oh, don't be such a cunt. But also, I love the fact that you can get someone so annoyed that they will refer to you as a cunt or a twat. Worst way possible. The fact that you can get into someone's head rent free to the fact that to the point where they will actually try and use those words as a way to hurt you. And it's just like so satisfying. But I also I love the camaraderie of the use of twat and cunt. And they're just fun words to say. Twat, cunt, twat. You twatting cunt. You cunting twat. But yeah, don't know. I just like referring to myself as a cunt and twat. Got a Ponzi gold Casio watch. I did want the rose gold version, but because it had a bigger head, bigger like watch face, I should say, but it was like a woman's watch, and it was rose gold. So, but the fact that the female version has a much more masculine watch face, we're not going to get into that discussion. Bo got home safe. Is that through the beer chat? Yeah, he's a wonderful, wonderful man. Is our Craig. True Saint. Well, yeah, I had a stalker, and he was only in Manchester because Wander Beyond were doing a beer yoga session. And when I first saw him, he walked past me and says, "Oh, you're the coolest drinker." It's like, I fucking hate that. But, yeah, yeah, all right, mate, yeah. As I'm walking to meet Rob from Hopsy. And he was like with a few people, so I thought, oh, he's out with his mates. And then met up with Rob. And I can't remember, I think we were actually in Wander Beyond. And he comes over to us. And we were like, oh, where have your mates gone? He goes, oh, no, I didn't know them. I just came here for the beer yoga and just tagged along with them. I was like, oh, okay. The fact that you're doing beer yoga, first to go if there's a world war. But yeah, it was it all went downhill from there. And we were just like talking, and then if there was like a point that we were making that he didn't agree with, it wasn't just like, I see that, but I disagree. It was like, I don't know. He was really quite abrasive and aggressive. It was weird. It was a very weird situation. But it was funny though. Drink more coffee, says Adam. Yeah, I'm drinking soft drinks. I haven't done so for about 3 years. I wish I could get off the soft drinks. I really, really do. One of the great things when I was living in Germany was we had a soda stream. And see, I really like fizzy water. And I sort of like used that as a way to, it's weird, isn't it? I was like in my late 20s. And to wean myself off soft drinks, we get soda stream and then like the low sugar flavorings that you can add to them. So I'd be off sugar, and that's why I think I like fizzy water, because I like the carbonation of drinks. I don't. It's very rare that I like a still drink. Like flavored waters knock me sick, but if it's like carbonated, then because it's still fizzy, it's got like a satisfying sort of thing to it, if that makes sense. Because like still water, I always associate to when I was a teenager and I was hungover and I had somewhere to go the next day, and I'd just be drinking all this water just so I could throw up the previous night's alcohol. And I always associate still water with awful hangovers. But yeah, carbonated water. I love carbonated water. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like weaning a baby off a specific sort of food. I don't know. I don't have children, so I won't be able to elaborate on that. I never drink. Not had one at all this year. Literally teetotal. Fuck off, Peter. Yeah, Beck's Chippy in Dalston. It's really good quality and family run for decades. The best places. Best places. On a Friday, we used to send Sam, the old bloke, up to the offie, £30 per £30 booze, some backy and raws / Rizzlers. He risked it all for a John Smith's. Should be the new ad campaign. Wasn't Peter Kay doing the John Smith's adverts? Did the stalkers supply with beer? If so, jealous? No, didn't buy us one beer at all. So, at least try and put some drugs in the alcohol and sedate us. Are you even a proper stalker if you don't do that? I don't know. And damn, that's weird. Hope that stalker got sorted. If I ain't drinking beer, I'm drinking bottled water. Yeah, bottled water. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm really childish and immature when it comes to that sort of stuff. I'm so picky. I'm one of the pickiest eaters that you will ever meet, to the point where it even annoys. He does it through the vaccines with his microchips, which completely change your DNA. And it's like, oh, come on now. But we're not going to get into that discussion. Anyway, so I'm going to cut the stream off now because I really need a cigarette. I need to make my lunch for work tomorrow. And if I carry on, I will be ever so tempted to open another beer. And I really don't want to do that because I'm working tomorrow, and I might want a few beers tomorrow evening, even though I've still got me Northern Monk stuff that I picked up. Life's hard. I'm only joking. I would never joke about stuff like that. JPS screens, certainly, with the Rizzler menthol card in there because, we found menthol cigarettes so children won't smoke. Oh, but we can still sell the menthol insert cards, which make the cigarettes taste exactly the same as menthol cigarettes. So you've sort of like, what analogy could I use? You've destroyed, let's say there's like a cell that's got two diseases on it. You've sort of like killed one disease, but sort of like genetically modified it with a very similar disease and said, yeah, legislation can't sell menthols anymore. But you can, because you can buy menthol inserts, which completely place. I don't know. I've just noticed a flash on the screen, so I think I'm having internet connection issues. I have GPS screens and blues at the moment. Sterling blues are all right, although they have a slight meaty smell, taste to them, which I don't like. Carlton greens, they're nice. What else? I like the JPS Cigarello Crush Balls you can get. Again, menthol's banned, but you can get crushable cigarellos which will still impart a menthol flavour. Where exactly is this menthol cigarette ban? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. They tried to do it in Germany, and like within a year or so, completely overturned. By the way, if you like your menthol cigarettes and you're ever in Germany, the best menthol cigarettes you'll ever have are Gauloise menthol. Beautiful stuff. Well, you can't really call a cigarette beautiful, can you, at the end of the day? And never tried Richmonds before. No, I've had Richmonds. They're awful. I tried to be posh and try Marlboros, but they weren't all that, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty stupid. We still get menthol ciggies from someone we know. I don't expect to know I had them to you know what. Definitely minty green taste. And Craig joins me just as I'm about to end the fucking stream. The selfish beer festival attending bastard that he is, but he's a beautiful bastard, and I love him with all my heart. And I had a wonderful time with him in Manchester, as well as with Adam, and both were very much too brief. But I think me and Adam may have some plans over the next few weeks, couple of months, and of course, I shall be seeing Craig again in London for the London Craft Beer Festival. And Goldrake says, evening, mate. Hope you're having a lovely evening, by the way, Craig. I'm sure you're sober as fuck at this point. I've just been absolutely gushing about Doppelbocks and talking about politics, music, menthol cigarettes, bottled water, carbonated water. It's a whole myriad of subjects on the Clueless Drinker channel. Anyway, so I'm going to cut this stream off here now, folks. Thank you so much for joining me on this, once again, last minute live stream, even though I still think Thomas is live at the moment. So if he is, do yourselves a favour and go over to his channel. Craig says, cheers, Goldrake. I'm fairly sober, got back early for my daughter. Ah, okay. Ah, I see. And yeah, I hope she's doing okay. Anyway, lovely stuff. I've gone back to that basic bitch again. Thank you so much. Like, thank you so much for supporting me on this live stream. Great live as always. Take care, lads, says Goldrake. You too, bud. Bud. Ironic. I don't blame you, though. Still in London, though, says Craig. And yeah, I think Goldrake actually got the joke because I'm funny. Where the fuck did that laugh come from? Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. You all take care. Have a Cole. Yeah, hi Cole. Yeah, have a lovely weekend. And if there are any streams this weekend, boom, 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 you may see me on there. I am such a prick, but I'm so privileged and so overwhelmed with emotion that you guys have joined me. Oh, Adam says no one else is live, so there's just a vast void of nothingness. But there's always Pornhub. Oh, yeah, says that. Oh, Adam's teasing. Adam's hinting. So keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out. Keep your... What the fuck? I've had about 3 different types of laugh in the last 2 minutes. Am I having a stroke? Or am I having a mental episode? Who knows? Yeah, so I don't know. Is Adam going to be doing a live stream? Train guy, says Adam. It's like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks. It's watching both. Oh, stream sort of loaded there. Wankier than my gushing over a Doppelbock. All right, cheers for watching, folks. You all take care. Stay safe. and you may see me tomorrow. Stop doing that with your fingers. That's what she said. Had Budvar Reserve earlier, says Craig. Oh, very nice. I really want to try that. Was that the festival, or did you manage to source a bottle of that? Take your eyes out. Yeah, exactly, Adam. Just getting flashbacks of Harry's hotel room. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Cheers for watching. And yeah, Doppelbox for the win. Best Doppelbock in the world. Summarise that up like a pro. And have a lovely weekend. Cheers. And this is the awkward part.